Hi, it's Helen from crochetmantra.com. Welcome. Let's get creative. Okay, so that's the 77th stitch that's just gone in here, and then we have our chain 2 there. Okay, so then we have to slip stitch to our first stitch, which is here. And it can be a bit of a tricky one to get your hook into, that one. I don't know why, but it is. For this row, to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, and make them nice and loose because they need to reach without stretching to this stitch down here. So we've got our seam here. Let me put the pen away, I don't want to draw on the work. Seam here. So that's number 1, that's number 2. Then it says skip 1, and into this one we need to slip stitch, and we slip stitch from the top to the bottom, like so. Yarn over and pull through both loops. So we're connecting this chain 4 to this ridge row. Then we need to chain 4 and keep them really nice and loose because they have to go the distance. Otherwise, if you make them too tight, you'll start to scrunch this up. And we need that to be quite nice and loose. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. So now what we need to do is we need to somehow attach this to this top row here of our basket. So then we chain 4 and we skip 2 on row 18. This is row 18 and this is row 16. So we skip 2, we've stitched in here 1, 2, and we're here. So we put our hook in. It's always easy to keep your yarn on the right hand side of your hook. Pull it through and pull it through the loop on your hook. So we've made now our first V shape here. Okay, chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we have to skip 3 stitches on row 16. 1, 2, 3, and into this 4th one from the top down we slip stitch. And you can move your work around so it's easier to pull it through. Keep your stitches as loose as you can. So we're there. So you can see the next part of the diamond. Chain 4, loose stitches. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so we need to skip 3 stitches. 1, 2, 3, and slip stitch into the 4th here. Hang on. It's easier if you do it so you keep the yarn on the right hand side of your hook. 1, 2, 3, into the 4th. Pull the yarn through and slip it through the loop on your hook. So we've slipped 3 stitches in the middle. Now we have to skip 3 stitches at the bottom and into the 4th. So chain 4, loose stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4. Skip 3. 1, 2, 3, and you want to, from the top down, slip under the 4th and pull your yarn through and through there. Chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we need to skip 2 stitches. 1, 2, and slip stitch. Remember, keep your yarn on the right hand side of your hook. 1, 2, and slip into the 3rd. There we go. Chain 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Skip 3 stitches. 1, 2, 3, and slip stitch into the 4th. See how easy this is, and it's such a pretty pattern. I absolutely love the diamonds. It just gives it that extra little bit of elegance. And chain 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So we need to skip 3 stitches. 1, 2, 3. Put our yarn on the right hand side. 1, 2, 3. Slip stitch into the 4th stitch, like so. And we're slip stitching, we're not single crocheting. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Just turn the basket round a little bit, but you can begin to see this beautiful diamond effect that's developing. It's absolutely beautiful, and because we stepped it in, it gives it this lovely 3-dimensional effect. Okay, so what we do next, we've chained 4 and we need to skip 3 stitches on round 16. 1, 2, 3, and we need to slip stitch into the 4th from the top down in. Pull up a loop and pull your hook through the first loop. There we go. And we chain 4 nice big loose stitches. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so we've chained 4 and we skip 3 stitches. 1, 2, 3. Slip stitch into the 4th stitch. There. Pull some yarn. Okay. Chain 4 again. Remember to keep them really loose. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And we skip 3 stitches. 1, 2, 3, and we're slip stitching into the 4th. And it's easier if you do move your basket around where it's comfortable for you. There we go. And you've guessed it, we chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so we skip 3 stitches on round 18, which is this top one. 1, 2, 3, and we yarn on the right, we slip stitch into the 4th stitch. Okay, so there's no little missed 2s now. There was only a couple of those because we want to get the V's in the nice equal spacing all the way around the basket. So from here on in, all you're doing is chaining 4, 1, 2, 3 and 4, jumping to the bottom row and skipping 3, slip into the 4th, and this is your pattern. Chain 4, keep those stitches really loose. 1, 2, 3 and 4. Skip 3 at the top. 1, 2, 3 and slip stitch into the 4th. And that's all you do now, all the way around until the beginning. So you carry on doing that. You slip 3 at the, miss 3 at the bottom, slip stitch into the 4th, chain 4. Miss 3 at the top, slip stitch into the 4th, chain 4. So you're going a zigzaggy effect all the way around. Okay, so we're at the point now where we're going to put in our last downwards and upwards. So we've chained 4. At this point we need here to skip 4. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. So into the 5th stitch. If you read the little note on the bottom of the pattern, if you've bought my pattern, which really helps to support me, it tells you that, and that one stitch, it really doesn't make a great deal of difference in the great scheme of things. And then we chain 4 to come up again, and then here we skip 3, well we skip 2 really, 1, 2, but what we're going to do is we're going to slip stitch into that 3rd stitch here on the left hand side of our first downwards stitch. So you can see here, so it makes a nice V shape here. So you really can't see any difference at all, and it just evens it out nicely. And we've got this beautiful 3D effect here. So I hope you've enjoyed making that. So now we're going to go on to the next few rows, which is building another section of the walls which go behind these diamonds. So, and they start on page 4 of your pattern. Okay. So we need to chain 1 like that and put 1/2 double crochet into the next stitch, into that one there. So it's easy for your chains to grow a bit big. You see how they just stretch up. Try and keep them the same size that you've already done. Wrap your yarn and put in 1/2 double crochet into the next stitch, and here we put in our stitch marker again. Okay, now what we need to do now, and there's a little bit of a trick to this round, is we need to put 1/2 double crochet into every stitch around, which keeps us at 77 stitches. But let me just show you something. So we put 1/2 double crochet into the next stitch. That's easy enough. Now on this one, you can see in this stitch we have got already the top of the diamond. It's really, really super important when you get to this stitch, pull those stitches to the right. So every top of every diamond around, just push them over to the right and wrap your yarn, insert your hook just there to the left of your stitches and pull through. And it's very easy to actually miss that stitch. And if you miss this stitch, when you come to do your next set of V's that go around, the count won't be right. So yarn over, pop a half double crochet into the next stitch, yarn over and pop a half double crochet into the next stitch, and again into the next stitch, because we skipped 3. So those 3 are easy ones. Here we come again to the top of the diamond. Just slide them across to the right and that will reveal the stitch that's underneath. And you pop your hook in on the left hand side of the ones that you've pushed across. And if you try and keep it so that's what you do every time, it will be a uniform pattern where the stitch is on the left hand side every time. So it will look the same all the way around. So continue doing this all the way around, 1 half double crochet into every stitch around, and you'll have 77 half double crochet. Remembering when you get to the top to push those 2 stitches to the right to reveal the stitch underneath. Yarn over and put your hook in on the left hand side. Make sure you keep your stitches nice and loose. Okay, and that's all there is to that round, and I'll meet you up when we get into this gap here before the stitch marker. I'll meet you there. So pause your video, take your time, enjoy the round, make sure you don't miss any of those hidden stitches, and I'll see you when we get here. Okay, so I said I'd meet you back up in the last V before the stitch marker. So this will be my 77th stitch here, there, and then we have to remove our stitch marker. It's a little good idea to keep a hold of that stitch, and then we slip stitch into that stitch that held the stitch marker, and that closes the round nicely. There we go. Now the next round, round 21, is a decreasing round. So we're going to make this smaller because we need the sides of our basket to come inwards just a little bit. So we need to decrease. So we need to chain 2, 1 and 2. Now we're going to put 1 double crochet into that first space that the decrease, that the chain 2 comes out of, into there, and that does count as our first couple of stitches, like this. Now we double crochet 2 together until the end. So we're making a repeating pattern. So we've put 1 double crochet here. Now we double crochet 2 together. 1, 2 together. Take all 3 loops off your hook. So into our first stitch that we did, it's a good idea to do this when you actually do it, by the way, not when I forget. Okay, so we've done that. So we've got 2, and then we've got 1 double crochet, 2 together here. Just pull off some yarn to keep our tension so it's nice and loose. So now we've done 2 together here. Now we need to do 1 double crochet in the next stitch, like that. Now in the next stitch we're going to put 2 double crochet, but we're going to put them together, so we're decreasing, so that's 1/2 of it, and pull through 2 loops into the next stitch, through 2 loops, and then through the final 3 loops. So that's 2 double crochet together, double crochet 2 together, then we do 1 double crochet in the next stitch. Now in the next 2 stitches we need to decrease from 2 to 1, so we're going to put 2 stitches together. So wrap your yarn, insert your hook, pull up a loop, wrap your yarn, pull through 2 loops, and now instead of finishing off the stitch at this point, wrap your yarn. To finish it we pull it through, but we want to put another stitch here, so insert your hook into the next stitch, pull up a loop, so you have 4 loops on your hook. Remember, it looks like more than 4, but each pair of strands counts as 1 loop. Pull through 2 loops, wrap your yarn and pull through all 3 loops, and we've shrunk 2 stitches into 1. Yarn over, and because we've done that we need to do 1 double crochet in the next stitch, and that's our pattern all the way around. So it's double crochet 2 together here, so we're using those 2 stitches and we're shrinking them to 1. So it's 2 double crochet together, 1 double crochet, 2 double crochet together, 1 double crochet. So we've done 1 here, so I'll show you once more how to do double crochet 2 together. Wrap your yarn, insert your hook, wrap your yarn, pull it through, pull up a loop, wrap your yarn, pull through 2, so you have 2 loops on your hook. Wrap your yarn, go into the next stitch, pull up a loop, so you have 4 loops on your hook. Pull through 2, yarn over, pull through all 3. So continue doing that until the end. So it's double crochet 2 together, 1 double crochet, double crochet 2 together, 1 double crochet, all the way around until we get to just before the stitch marker, and I'll meet you there. Okay, take your time, keep your stitches nice and loose, and remember it's 2 double crochet together, 1 double crochet, 2 together, 1, okay, and I'll see you back here. Okay, so here we are back again, and we've done 2 double crochet down to 1 stitch, so that's 2 double crochet 2 together, followed by 1 double crochet. followed by 2 double crochet, which is 2 double crochet, 2 together, which I've just done here, and we need to do 1 double crochet here, and what we need to do now is slip stitch into the top of this stitch here where the stitch marker is, into there, and close our round. And you should have 53 stitches on this round, round 21. Round 22 we slip stitch to the first double crochet and chain 1. So slip stitch and chain 1, and then we need to do 1 half double crochet in every stitch around, which will give us 53 half double crochets. So our first half double crochet goes not in here because we have one in here already. We go into the next stitch. So that's 1 half double crochet. And we put our stitch marker back in. So we're always sure where we start. And we simply go around putting in 1 half double crochet. So a quick reminder on half double crochets for you. Wrap your yarn, insert your hook into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through and pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through all 3 loops, remembering that each loop consists of 2 strands. Yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops. There'll be 6 strands. Yarn over, insert your hook into the next stitch, pull through, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops on your hook, and continue that all the way around our basket until we get to 2 or 3 stitches before the end. So go ahead and do that, and I'll meet you up here, somewhere around here. And here we have got our last couple of stitches. Of the round. And this one is stitch number 53. Okay, so we've done our last half double crochet, and we need to slip stitch to the first stitch here, like that, and slip stitch again into the second stitch, like that, and then we want to chain 4. 1, 2, 3 and 4, and make these loose. If you remember when we did the chains down here, we made our stitches nice and loose so it didn't pull. Now what we need to do now is we need to make the tops of the diamonds. So you lift up and lip stitch underneath both of the chain 4 strands, and you slip stitch there. Okay, and chain 4, loose, nice big loose stitches, 1, 2, 3 and 4. Okay, so now we need to skip 2 stitches and stitch into the third, 1, 2 and into the third, and it's the same rule as when we were doing the other row of diamonds down here. Put your wool to the right of your hook and slip stitch into there. So we've skipped 2 stitches here. Chain 4, 1, 2, 3 and 4, and we do the same again, and we come down and we put our hook underneath both of the strands. Grab your yarn and pull it underneath and slip stitch like that, and chain 4, nice big loose stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, pull some yarn. Here we skip 1 stitch and stitch into the second, and we're just altering these purely because we've had a decrease row, and it's the same principle. When it's all finished, you won't notice if there's a skip 2 or a skip 4. So we've skipped 1, chain 4, 1, 2, 3 and 4, and lift up your 2 chain 4s from the V below, put your hook underneath, grab your yarn and pull it underneath and slip stitch there, and chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we're skipping 1, 2, and we're putting the hook in the third stitch and slip stitch. So we're getting some nice V shapes here, which complete our beautiful diamonds. They really are beautiful because they're 3-dimensional. So underneath this is the lovely gaps, and this is stepped in, so it gives it this beautiful textured 3D view. So now we're skipping different amounts of stitches all the way around. So we chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and we bring this chain down, so we make sure that under each of the V's on the row below we put our hook underneath both of them, pull the yarn through and slip stitch, and then we chain 4. Pull some yarn, 1, 2, 3 and 4. Turn our work a little way. Okay, here we skip 2, 1, 2, and we slip stitch into the third. There we go. Oh, look at this. I don't know about you guys, but having long hair and crochet doesn't mix very well, really. Even though you put it up and you do everything you can, There, that's gone. And we slip stitch into there. And chain 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now we have to bring this chain of 4 down. So we put our hook underneath the next set of 2 chain 4 posts. Yarn over, pull it underneath and slip stitch. And chain 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Turn our work around a little bit. And we're skipping 2. 1, 2. And we pop our hook in the 3rd. Pull up a loop. And slip. Just pull some more yarn. It's bouncing around all over the floor. It's a beautiful clean floor. Okay, and chain 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Bring it down to the 2 chain 4 posts of the V below. Pull your yarn underneath both and slip. Chain 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Skip 2 stitches and slip stitch into the 3rd, like that. 1, 2, 3, 4. Turn our work around a little way. And here, underneath the next set of 2, yarn over, pull it underneath and slip stitch under both strands, like that. There. And chain 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Skip 2 stitches and slip stitch into the 3rd. And chain 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And bring it down and hook it underneath the 2 posts below and slip stitch. And you can see here how these beautiful V's are giving the texture. Beautiful. So let's continue. Chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Nice loose stitches. On this one we're only skipping 1 stitch. So you slip into that stitch and slip it there. Chain 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Bring it down, put your hook. See if I can bend this a little bit for you so you can see. Put your hook underneath both of the V's. Grab your yarn and pull it underneath and slip stitch. There. Pull some more yarn. Chain 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And here we're slipping also just 1 stitch. And chain 4. 1, 2, 3 and 4, and bring it down and underneath the next set of V's and slip there. Chain 4, 1, 2, you pull some yarn, it's got itself tangled around my chair leg. There we go. 1, 2, 3 and 4. So here we're skipping 2, 1, 2, and we're slip stitching into the third, like that. 1, 2, 3 and 4. Bring the chain down and underneath the next set of 2 strands of chain 4s and slip stitch under there and chain 4, 1, 2, 3 and 4. Turn our work a little bit. It's always a good idea to keep the diamond that you're working on in front of you so you can see it. So here we're skipping 2. Our yarn is on the right hand side. That means it doesn't twist, and we slip stitch there. 1, 2, 3 and 4, and bring that down underneath the next peak and slip stitch and chain 4, 1, 2, 3 and 4. Just adjust the basket again and pull yet more yarn. So we skip 2, slip stitch into the third. There we go. I mean, really, this is an individual choice on your part, depending how your stitches are, how big they are. You might find in some places to center this top peak so you make a perfect diamond. If you wanted to, you could adjust the chains in between. So you might decide on one of them, because depending how big your stitches are, that you need to skip 2 to make the point in line with the point below. What you don't want is to skew your diamonds. So long as you keep nice diamond shapes, if you have a skip 2 or a skip 1 in a slightly different place, it doesn't matter, because you're matching up your diamonds and you want your diamonds to look as perfect as possible. So it really doesn't matter what you do here, so long as your diamonds line up. 1, 2, 3 and 4. For instance, here we've got to come down and we've got to go underneath this pair and slip stitch, and then we chain 4, 1, 2, 3 and 4, and where the written pattern might say, for instance, skip 2, and you put your hook in the third, your stitches might be slightly different sizes, and it might look better if you just skipped 1, or you might want to actually now and then skip 3. So long as your peak up here matches your peak down here, so it makes a nice diamond shape, it really doesn't matter, because you have the same amount of stitches all the way around. So this one, the pattern says skip 2, so we're going to skip 2. And you'll probably find that it matches with what I've written. But don't worry if you only need to skip one or two and it alters slightly. This doesn't matter. Slip stitch under the next peak. It's the main thing is that your diamonds are equal. 1, 2, 3 and 4. So you can find the middle. So skipping 1 would skew it a bit, I think. So I would skip 2 here, and that the pattern says that, and slip and chain 4. But you may find you only want to skip 1. And it becomes your personal basket then, with your own little spin on it. One, 2, 3, 4. The end is in sight. Here we go. So here we're just going to skip 1 stitch. One, 2, 3 and 4. Bring it down and put it underneath the peak below. Here we go. 1, 2, 3 and 4. Move it round, and here we're skipping 2 stitches, 1, 2, and we're slip stitching into the 3rd, like that. 1, 2, 3 and 4. Okay, and we're going down to the next peak and slip stitching underneath, making sure to catch both strands, and chain 4. It's quite a rhythmic round, this one. Turn your work. So now you can see that we're coming back up to the point here. Just pull a load of yarn. Okay. So here we're skipping 2 and we're slip stitching into the 3rd stitch and chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Drop it down to the peak below and slip stitch. Chain 4. 1, 2, 3 and 4. Skip 1 on this one and chain 4. 1, 2, 3 and 4. Bring it down and underneath both strands of the peak below and slip stitch. There we go, and chain 4. 1, 2, 3 and 4. And on this one, what we do here, because you'll see that we have a V here that isn't accounted for. So we stitch into the stitch above this peak. So we're just skipping 1. So we slip stitch here and we chain 4. 1, 2, 3 and 4. And we come down to this peak, which is our final peak of uncaptured peaks. and we chain 4. 1, 2, 3 and 4, and we stitch here into this stitch where this first chain 4 that we made comes out of. So right in there, pop your hook through and slip stitch. And there we have completed our round of beautiful diamonds all the way around. Beautiful. Now, what we need to do now is we slip stitch just to the other side there, and that just holds that last peak in place there. Now we chain 2, 1 and 2, and now what we want to do is put 1 half double crochet, 1 half double crochet, and then half double crochet 2 together, and we'll repeat that all the way around, and we will end up with 43 stitches. So 1 half double crochet, like that, another half double crochet in the next stitch, like that. So that was our first one there, and I like to put the stitch marker in so I remember where I'm at. Now, same rule applies here. Push these stitches to the right, and this stitch we need to do a half double crochet 2 together. So we put our hook in, pull up a loop, put our hook into the next stitch and pull up a loop, come under 2 and then under 3. So that's our half double crochet 2 together. Then we need to pull the next peak to the right to reveal that stitch, and we put in there half double crochet. Try saying that all in one go. So there's 1, and there's our second one in the next stitch, like that. Okay, so here our basic pattern is going to be half double crochet, half double crochet, half double crochet 2 together, half double crochet, half double crochet, and half double crochet 2 together. Making sure that we don't miss this stitch, and pull through the loops like that. Half double crochet, half double crochet, and the next one will be a half double crochet 2 together. So we're at the peak, so we move the stitches across to the right so we don't forget to stitch that stitch. So that's 1 and 2, and come under all 4 loops. Half double crochet, and we're at a peak, half double crochet, and half double crochet 2 together, so that's one half of it, and in the next stitch is the second. 4 loops on your hook, pull through all 4 loops, and then we're at a peak again, so we slide it across, half double crochet in there, half double crochet in the next stitch, and a half double crochet 2 together, and that's the pattern for this round. So always remember to slide across your peak to the right, so you don't miss that stitch. Tell you what, you'll have massive muscles by the time you've finished this. And that's what you do all the way around. And we're decreasing this to make our basket tip inwards to reveal this beautiful edge. So it makes a beautiful curved edge. And when you finish this round, you'll have 43 stitches. So it's a half double crochet, a half double crochet, and a half double crochet 2 together. That's your pattern. Just repeat that all the way around, and I'll see you when we get near to the stitch marker. Okay, so here we are again. So this is 42, and the 43rd stitch goes into this last one here, just before our peaks, and it can be a little bit tricky to get in. There's always one, but just persevere and you'll get your hook through there. I think it's tight because there's just other stitches in there. And there we go. So that's 43. And then we need to slip stitch to the top of our chain 2, which we did at the beginning. Here we go. 1, 2, and we need to go to the top of that stitch. If I can show you clearly what we do. So we go underneath and underneath there, but we're not going through this big hole here. We actually want to go underneath those 2 and underneath the back 2, like that, and we slip stitch in there. So there's a little thread there, if you can see. So we've gone into the top of the stitch and we slip stitch there to close the round. Now this is the last round of this bowl, so well done. And all we do in this one is we put 1 single crochet into every stitch around, and that's it. So there's our first one, and we find our stitch marker and we pop it in, and 1 stitch around, and you will end up with 43 stitches, and I'll meet you back here. Okay, so we've done our single crochet all the way around, and this is 42, and the final one is 43. Remove your stitch marker and slip stitch into the next single crochet and pull up a tail and cut yourself a piece of yarn that's approximately 10 inches long or something, because we need to weave in our ends now. So you've slip stitched to there. Grab a darning needle and this is a bit fiddly because it's such thick yarn, and we need to thread this. It's a chuckle, isn't it? There we go. Okay, so turn your basket round and we weave our ends in on the inside of our work. So just go under a few threads at the start to begin with, like that, and make sure we don't pull it and so it puckers up, and then we'll come down and we'll go back the other way across, so we're going under different threads all the way, so it's not going to come undone, because that would just be the worst thing if you gave this as a gift to somebody filled with goodies and they fell in love with it and started to use it, and oh no, it's falling apart and unraveling. So we have to pay great attention to the weaving in of our ends on something like this that's going to be used in a practical way. So we just weave them all in. If you get a bit that's stuck, just jiggle it about. It'll come eventually. So when you've woven in lots and lots and lots and lots of different directions, you can then trim your yarn. Like that. And then we have got the center of the inside to do. Now here it's a nice idea, as we've got two threads, to pull down a couple of knots first, and that helps it to stay in place. And then we thread up our tails from when we started, but you can see what I mean. This is such a quick and easy basket to make. Because of the chunky yarn, it grows so quickly, and the diamonds are so elegant. So we tend, when you're weaving in here, go in the direction of the circle. So go in a clockwise direction and just weave in your ends in the best way and under the best threads that you can find. And so you weave that in and then trim the end like that, and your basket is done. Shape it. If you pop out behind the diamonds, it'll shape into the most beautiful shape. And there we are. There is your basket, all done. There's the bottom. And here's the side. Congratulations. Well done. Fill it up with goodies. Fill it up with balls of yarn. It looks very pretty with balls of yarn in for your current projects and your hook. What a beautiful present to give to somebody, especially even yourself. So I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial. If you have, please subscribe to my channel. Click the bell button. There's lots and lots of exciting things coming. And leave comments. I'd love to hear how you got on with your big, beautiful diamonds basket. I also have a Facebook group called Crochet Mantra and an Instagram, again, called Crochet Mantra. Please pop along, join the group, because there's lots of freebies on there, lots of giveaways, lots of free patterns. And there you can post pictures of your own big, beautiful diamonds bowl. Okay, so I look forward to seeing you next week when I'll be posting something really exciting. Okay, take care, stay safe. Bye.